Alright, so right now we're talking about the card in tarot known as the Fool. Now, I don't really like to call the Fool the Fool. I really like to call it the Rebel because the Fool card is basically ruled by Uranus. And what this card tells you is pretty much it's somebody that's going in their own way, somebody that's deciding to head in their own direction. Now, when you think about the planetary energy of Uranus, it means rebellion, being unique, standing out from the crowd. So it's just somebody who decides to go their own way. And they're willing to go their own way because they believe that there is something for them that is off, off the regular coast where most people regularly go. But what's very interesting about this card, or what's very interesting about the way the deck is set up, because the deck is based on the circle of life, it's based on the zodiac, it's based on the seasons, so what goes around comes around. So there's certain stages of initiation that you need to go through, is already going through, to manifest your own unique position in life. And it's very interesting because after the Fool comes the Magician. So the Magician is ruled by Mercury, it's ruled by thinking, it's ruled by communication, it's ruled by analyzing. You coming to a conclusion, it's basically like, it starts with the Fool, it's basically like you kind of going to the outer sphere, because Uranus is an outer planet, so it's kind of like you going to a place mentally that is out there, but it manifests third dimensionally by you going around doing certain things that are seen by society as, maybe not normal, or just off the beaten path, or off the regular path, or things that don't really make sense, or just it's just you bringing things together that most people don't really want to bring together. But because your mind was willing to go the distance in that area, you also get rewarded. Rather than you coming up with a mundane genre of music, rather than you coming up with a mundane genre of lecturing, you have to go out there and be rebellious and be unique. Because if you don't do that, what you're going to see is whatever you're getting to do is not going to be unique. It's not going to be an individual. It's not going to be like your signature is not going to be there, because you're going to try to do something or replicate doing something that already existed in society in front of you. And how many people do you see every single day trying to replicate what basically the shadow government, which is just basically, who are in control of the education system and all these things, entertainment and things like that. And often we try to do these things like how the deck was already set in front of us, rather than us realizing, oh, okay, listen, if people can make up religions out of thin air, then what do you think you can make up out of thin air? Because what people need to come to understand is the first form of resources is not some physical metals, it's not some physical geographical location. The first form of resources is actually the mind, is you being able to basically, because there's this thing that they call bioluminescence. But what I like to look at, how I like to look at bioluminescence is it's just basically like two energies joining together to create a new body, and that creates bioluminescence. And in a period of time, stretched out time, depending on what life form you're observing that from, it can appear like it's taking time. Like, for example, when your parents fuck and they have you, that's like two energies joining together to create a third new body and things like that. It's the same thing with meteors, the same thing with stars, the same thing with hydrogen colliders. Now, the only way you not like what I said, it's just based on you not liking how I worded it, and that's pretty much it. But that's really what it is. It's just two energies joining together, creating a new energy, and then eventually that energy is gonna burn out and decay, like our star, like everything we see. It's eventually it's gonna decay. So the point being is, if you're not willing to take your mind, take your spaceship into a new space out there where most people wouldn't dare to go, and unbend that light, take that darkness and unbend it so you can find something new. Because remember, all of reality is connected. This is just the wheel of life that we're in. And in the wheel of life, there's so many relative positions that you can play that are in your unique space. But if you don't decide to play out these energies to initiate yourself into I don't want to say a higher realm, I want to just say more of a further out realm. So this way, the concepts you come up with, this way the music you come up with, this way the art that you come up with, this way the lectures you come up with, this way the TV movies that you come up with are things that are far out there, but you can still connect them to the third dimension of what goes on here. Because that's like you just basically developing, because your mentality is a spaceship. You always creating bodies in other places, and you always observing things from other places as well. So because this is not the body, this is just a form we created. The mind is a form that we created. But like I'm saying, these thoughts may seem like it's far out there, but you see, if you don't play your anus, if you don't play the fool and go further out with your mind, go the distance, travel the distance, travel these stars and whatnot, these freaking planetary spheres, these planetary belts and things like that, and develop yourself some new energies, some new way of looking and feeling and seeing and practicalizing about the world, or going about things and incorporating those energies, which is like the three further planets: Pluto, Uranus, and Saturn. You having your own structure. This is why when people's Saturn returns happen, which is basically just wherever Saturn is in your astrology chart, when that ever comes around, you might feel like use a bum. You might feel like you never done, because that's Saturn letting you know, hey bro, you never done nothing with your time. So like now you're gonna get reaped by the cosmic slavery system, because you didn't want to be, you didn't want to play Uranus. You didn't want to go out there and be a unique individual, develop your own thoughts and feelings, and bring that to the third dimension and still make that relatable, and be the next, Michael Jackson, be the next, whoever you look up to, because you can be that just in your own area. And when you go for your spaceship far out, you become the magician. You create some new solution. You formulate a new solution to what's going on as far as a problem in the third dimensional reality. Because now you understand that problems are really just the very same thing that we're supposed to be willing to solve to even have a solution. This is why like people in Greek will come up with the 3-point system, like idea, problem, solution, because they're telling you, yeah, there's problems in life and that's a part of it, but you're not supposed to run away from it. You're supposed to deal with it. So don't run away from being unique. Don't run away from rebelling, but don't do it to an extreme manner, to the point that you start thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna go rebel against the government. I'm gonna go do this and this and that, this and this and that, the third, because that's not what it means. Yeah, they might put that in front of you in the form of movies, TV shows, and encourage that, because that's really what they want you to do, because then they can be justified in terms of the securities, the systems, as far as monitoring people, tracking people, and certain things that they would like to implement, but they don't have necessarily the justification. So this is why you see a lot of these events like shootings at schools and all these things happen. But some of them really just be planned out on purpose. Some of them really just be like the CIA kind of sitting back, like, oh, okay. Because a lot of the times, even the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they will know that, okay, this person is doing this, and they will have the history of this person, but they're not going to do anything about it or monitor this person closely or nothing like that. They will just let that person run buck wild. Because even a lot of those like intel agencies and things like that, whether they like it or not, they're in on this shit too. Now the regular employee may not accept that. The regular employee may be like, oh no, we're here to protect this country, blah 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 blah. But behind closed doors, those are just controlled departments, controlled assets that are a part of a bigger system that is just that's been doing this thing since eternity. And if you're not willing to create your own system by becoming a unique individual, by rebelling a little bit, so you can come up with a further out solution, a further out mentality to the present problem, then you're gonna fall trap to the traps that they laid for you, and then they're gonna justify what they're doing and kind of call you like a low-hanging fruit, like you deserve this to happen to you because you're not willing to understand what's going on. You're not willing to do things like shadow work. You're not willing to chase your dreams. You don't have self-value. You don't respect yourself. So it's like they look at it, these Jews, they look at it like, since we're scared of life and we're not willing to go through these initiations of these energies, and actually incorporate it to our being and understand, oh, okay, so this is what reality, okay, Pluto, okay, so if I give death to this emotion, I can give birth to a new emotion, because now that's like when Jesus says, you can't fill a full cup with water. If the cup is already full of water, you can't fill it up. So you're supposed to give death to that old emotion, that water inside of that cup, and you come up with a new emotion to fill that cup. Because these are all just adrenaline rushes that we are coming up with our mind, based on practicing rituals and things like that. Now you might be like, I'm not practicing no ritual. Oh no, yes the fuck you are. You better become aware of the rituals you're practicing. Like let's say when you're walking through a door, for example, you can look at that door like it's a regular door, or you can walk through that door, create a belief in your mind like, yeah, when I walk through that door, I'm going to create my highest possible good. Because third dimensionally, your brain can observe, okay, he's walking through a door, but fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth dimensionally, your mind is going to create a loop, a sigil, a vibratory rate, a signet that symbolizes, oh, okay, so he walked through that door, okay, so he's going to manifest his highest possible good. So you start to actually observe those things in your environment, your highest possible good. What is the best outcome for you? Rather than you, man, it'd be crazy because even the fucking Jesus ritual, the eating the body of Christ in the bread and drinking the blood in the form of the wine, that's a ritual. How do you even do a ritual? You put your faith behind your beliefs, and you create some kind of imagination around that, which is basically Neptune, and then you go for that. So you're already practicing rituals all the time. Even when you speak to yourself, you are practicing rituals on yourself. So that's why you better be careful. That's why the Bible tells you that the death and life is in the power of the tongue, or some shit like that. Because it really is that way. You really is speaking life or death unto yourself. Don't some motherfuckers tell themselves, oh, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm slow, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't understand life, and they literally manifest that in real time, and then they ask themselves, oh man, yeah, this is just what I believe. Yeah, of course it's real for me. But they never question the fact that they can replace that belief with something else and actually manifest the same, because they don't know that you're practicing a ritual on your damn self. So understand that this is just the nature of life. And I know you walk outside and you think that, things is normal, or you're walking into a mall, or you're just walking in the neighborhood block. You need to understand a lot of these things was formulated based on them wanting you to develop certain thoughts and feelings based on the third dimensional physicalities of the objects that they have placed in front of you, and the ideas that they gave you about these things. Oh, this is that. Oh, this is that. This is that. Down to even when you might be a kid, you might watch a scary movie, and it being associated with the dark, with the yin realm, things that we don't see or understand, which is basically your own skeletons in the closet. You might even just, when you're a kid, you might even close the light, and you might start using your mind for all types of shit that it's not even made for. You might literally manifest fear, worry, just by you watching that movie, which is just basically a luminous screen, and your mind is the luminous screen as well. When you turn on your laptop, you open it, it's literally just darkness. Your mind is the same thing. So whatever you put in your mind, that's exactly what it's going to give birth to, in the form of a creature, in the form of a mentality. Because just like you are alive, these thoughts and feelings are alive just like you. So treat these things like they are living things, and treat yourself properly. Stop playing games on your mind. Because life is, you're living life. You might as well just learn what you're doing so you could be a bad motherfucker, rather than you just literally, man, it's crazy, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy, because you literally practicing rituals on your mind. So learn what the fuck you doing, so you stop shooting yourself in the fucking foot and calling that shit fate, or calling that shit, yeah, because we're black, brother. It's just the way things go for us. It's just how things go for black folk, or whatever excuses we choose to build up upon our mind. Because that's not that you shouldn't be doing yourself like that. But if you don't know this esoteric shit, if you don't know this knowledge, then you're gonna find yourself repeatedly doing that, and you're just gonna call that life. You're just gonna be like, yeah, it's just life. It's just, yeah, I'm a fuck up. What can I say? So don't do that to yourself, and practice these energies right, and don't let these motherfuckers practice these energies on you, because then you letting them use their witcher broom, their wizard hat on you. You're letting them take an idea, problem, solution, and point that at you, and make you sink in your own water and call that life. So let's not take our boats, our mentalities, and anchor it in shores that we don't need to anchor it there in the first place. Let's understand that there's unlimited wealth, unlimited health, unlimited abundance, and let's take our mentality via you being the pilot of your mentality and you being the one who is putting the instructions, the one prompt engineering it, and let's take our minds towards a destination that is more than blissed for ourselves and everybody else around us, whether they like it or not. Because when you're manifesting your highest possible good, when you got fruits in your life, when you got results, who the fuck can tell you what you're doing is not working at that point? Whatever you're doing, everyone around you is gonna want to get into it too. Eventually, whether they like it or not, but they're gonna be in an ego first, and that's okay. You just gotta know yourself and know you a bad motherfucker if you understand what I'm saying. Real shit. You better motherfucking believe it. Real shit.